Teen jumps into lake with GoPro. What he discovers solves a 27-year-old mystery. It was just another summer afternoon on Griffin Lake, British Columbia. 13-year-old Max Werenka was out paddleboarding when someone at the family's lakeside cabin mentioned something strange, a shiny object under the water, just 10 feet from the highway. Curious, Max grabbed his GoPro and dove in. What he filmed would shock everyone. The shiny object turned out to be the underside of an old, overturned car. Max surfaced and showed the footage to his parents. At first, they assumed it was from a 2009 crash where everyone had survived, so no one thought much of it until fate stepped in. The next day, a guest at the family's cabins invited a relative over for lunch. That relative just happened to be a Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer. Max casually mentioned the car in the lake, and that's when everything changed. The officer looked stunned because the vehicle from the 2009 incident had already been pulled out. He suspected this was something else entirely and immediately called his partner to investigate further. Within days, the officer and his colleague returned. They followed Max to the exact spot, but due to poor visibility in the lake, the officers couldn't confirm the vehicle's presence clearly enough to report it to headquarters and request a dive team. So, Max volunteered to dive back in himself, capturing more detailed footage of the submerged vehicle and handing it over to them. When the car was finally raised by the RCMP dive team, along with a local tow company, everyone was stunned. Inside was the body of Janet Ferris, a 69-year-old woman who had vanished 27 years earlier while driving to a wedding in Alberta. Her family had spent decades not knowing what happened. Now, they finally had an answer. Police believe she may have swerved to avoid an animal, causing her car to plunge into the lake. There was no foul play, just a tragic accident lost to time. Max never expected to become part of a missing persons case, but for Janet's family, his dive into the lake brought something they thought they'd never have again: peace.